My name's Chris Collinge. I'm making this video for you guys to learn about how to trade on the stock market. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm wearing this ridiculous t-shirt. Well, actually, it is a t-shirt I made myself, and in the next coming video and videos that I will be making for you, I will make a promise that I will get some professionally made t-shirts. What it actually says, I don't know if you can read that, is Rogue Traders. Now, not after the TV show that many of you may have watched back in the day. Rogue Traders is actually a group that myself and a few friends set up back in April of this year. What that group is all about is essentially making money. Now, we're all professionals. Some of us are stockbrokers, others are financial analysts, some are bankers, entrepreneurs like myself. We've got people who are fitness experts, we've got people that work for global companies, and I guess we all came together with one shared goal, which is we all want to make money. Now, I've actually given up a very well-paid job in order to become a full-time trader. Now, for me, this year I've set up 2 other businesses, but my absolute passion is trading, and I've been doing it now for about 8 years. So I'd like to think I've got a bit of knowledge that I would like to impart on to you guys watching me today. So just to kind of start with the beginning then, what is a trader? So a trader is a person or an entity in finance who buys and sells financial instruments such as stocks, bonds, commodities, derivatives and mutual funds. How to begin stock trading? A lot of you might not have traded before, and you're probably thinking, what do I actually do? Well, these are the 5 things that I did before I began. So getting to know the stock market is absolutely paramount. Really know what it is that you're going to be wanting to invest in. Obviously, there's thousands and hundreds of thousands of companies out there, and many different stock markets to trade into. So we've got things like the Chinese stock market, which is the China Shanghai Composite stock market. You've then got the Nasdaq, which is composed of 3,000 companies. You've got the Dow Jones, which is 30 major companies. That's the American. Those two, the Nasdaq and the Dow Jones, are American stock markets. And then you've got things obviously like the UK stock market, which is made up of the FTSE 100 index, which is the 100 largest UK companies. We've got Germany 30, as you can imagine, that's the 30 biggest companies in Germany. Wirecard is no longer one. And you've got Europe 50. So it's deciding what markets you want to buy into. It's then researching the hell out of that market and knowing exactly what it is, what those companies do, who their CEOs are, what analysts say about them, what the media says about them. So how you can do that is looking at the following sources. You've got Yahoo Finance, you've got Market Watch, FX Street, and Motley Fool. I find Motley Fool is really, really good. You can sign up to their alerts and get them sent to you via email. Absolutely brilliant for inside information and tips. You've got things like the Financial Times, a little bit of a kind of mundane read, as it were, but again, it's really insightful. You've got Forbes, we all know Forbes, and you've got a really good tool, which is for basic trading as well as intermediate and advanced, is Investor Observer. Now, I use that almost all the time I want to buy a potential stock, because it gives you charts and really insightful understanding into what analysts think about that company, and it rates it from 0 to 100 based on what analysts say. Obviously, a score of 0 meaning don't invest, a score of 100 meaning absolutely. Some big companies like Amazon would score around about the 90 mark on there, with other companies like Alibaba. So it is a really effective tool for looking at a whole plethora of companies. Next, we can look at the social media networks out there like Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and even Facebook. Facebook's got a lot of useful information, people who are traders who have forums on there. One of them that I'm a part of is Timothy Sykes' networking group. Really, really brilliant if you're wanting to get into penny stocks right now, which obviously is on fire. So just to give you an example of a few accounts that I follow, these are on Instagram. I think they're absolutely brilliant, especially when you're getting going. So you've got Stock Investor Expert, really, really good inside tips and information. You've got Investing Authority, the Investing Academy. That's really, really good if you're just looking to get going and you want to know what companies are worth buying into at this moment in time. You've got Investing Mentors, Investors Grow, and you've also got Touchdown Traders. All carry a risk. There are more riskier strategies than others. One example would be trading with leverage, which I will go into more detail in another video. And obviously, whatever you put in, you do need to realise that you may lose that. So again, it's knowing how much you've got. If you've got £1,000 that you can put in and you can risk it and potentially lose it, then put that in, but do know that there are risks associated. I'm not trying to be your mother here or your father, but it is essentially something just to be wary of. And then next you want to look at a suitable trading platform. So I personally use Plus 500, I use Trading 212, I use Webull, I use Hargreaves Lansdown, and I use E-Trade. All fantastic trading platforms to use, all have their different advantages and disadvantages. Trading 212 is good for people just starting out. It's very simple. It has lots of companies on there from all different kinds of stock markets. Yeah, really intuitive and easy to use, and you can start trading on there almost immediately once you've done the sign up process. Does also give you charts, historical information about that company. Yeah, for me, Trading 212 is absolutely superb. Plus 500 is the one that I use the most because it is trading on CFD, which again is using leverage. I find that one is great if you only want to put in a bit of money, but you can make a lot more. But again, the risks on that are far greater. You've got Webull. Now you do need a social security number and a address within the States. So if you've got friends or family out there, ask their permission to potentially use that. But again, Webull, absolutely superb. Lots of penny stocks on there. Lots of companies to invest in, so it is a good tool. And then we've got Hargreaves Lansdown, that's a UK-based trading platform. Lots of companies, they do charge a fee between $6.95 and $11.95, so just be wary of that. And E-Trade, which probably is the biggest trading platform online. Again, you do need an SSN number and an address within the States. So yeah, I recommend any one of those 5 to get you going. And obviously you've got ones like eToro as well, which I used to use, but I don't because I've found a lot of glitches within their systems, so I don't no longer use that. But again, it is a suitable platform to get you going. So once you've got your trading platform, then you can either get straight into it or you can practice before you make an official deposit. So Plus 500 actually allows you to have a practice with a demo account. I would say if you are going to trade on leverage, it's definitely worth doing it with the demo account first. And once you're ready to go, then you can switch to the Real Money side, Real Money app, it's on there, and you can start buying some stocks. And that's where hopefully over the next coming few days and weeks and months that we can work together with my team to really help anyone watching these videos and give you any sort of advice. Now, I'm not, just to make this very, very clear, I am not a financial expert by any shape of the imagination. I am just here to kind of give my knowledge and impart it onto you. It's up to you what you then do and decide. So I don't want to be held accountable for anything that goes wrong. But I do trust in myself. I mean, this year has been particularly the best year for me. I've made about £50,000 profit from just £1,000. So obviously, when the stock market crashed in between February of this year on the 20th and March the 20th, so that month which we saw, just an example, we saw the S&P 500, which is the biggest 500 companies in America, fall by 1,100 points. And we also saw the FTSE drop 2,500 points during that same period. I actually had about sort of £3,000 in my portfolio, and it dropped to about the £1,100 mark. Now, rather than putting more money in, because I've got a lot of things that I'm planning for in terms of my future, I've got a wedding next year. I'm looking at buying some properties as well. I've already bought myself one property. I've offered on another one, and I will be looking to grow my own sort of property portfolio moving forward. So for me, I didn't want to put too much in, so I left it at that £1,100, and I invested really carefully and made some really good and I wouldn't say fortunate because of my research, but one example would be buying into NEO when it was just $2.5. Bought quite a lot of shares in that. And I've seen that grow from $2.5 to recently 29, which was where it touched at the highest point it's ever been. So obviously I've done pretty well for myself this year. That's only the start for me. I want to be able to go on to, turn that from the 5 digits to 6 and then 7, and I think that will happen because I am very driven and very motivated. So yeah, I guess what we would like to look at next then, and what I'm going to try and help you with, is building a portfolio. Now, if you would like to pause this and have a quick drinks break, I have myself a Heineken here, which is from my Krupp sub. So I will be taking a sip myself. But yeah, we'll come back and then move on to the next part. Okay, so I hope you've had a good break. So just wanted to have a look then at just some examples of some stocks that I think you should have in your portfolio. So for me, I want to also earn a passive stream of income. So how I do that is looking at dividend stocks. So those are stocks that will pay you out on either a monthly or quarterly basis just for holding them in your portfolio. Some really good examples here. We've got Societe Generale SA. That will pay you 18.5%. You've got Total, 8.9%. ExxonMobil, 10%. You've got a stock called Casino, which is really, it's growing a lot at the moment, but that's paying you 14.4%. You've got BP paying 12.7%. AT&T, which is a telecommunications provider, paying 7.5%. We've got Royal Dutch Shell, which is paying 9.8%. Rio Tinto, which is paying 6.3%. A really impressive one here with Imperial Brands, 13.7%, which I think is phenomenal. We've got a penny stock here, which I've highlighted, called VEON.
VEON is a Dutch telecommunications company with a turnover of 9.78 billion.
So I would say definitely worth having a look at that and having that in your portfolio as well. And I think the most sort of impressive one here is FirstLine. Now that is a company.
Okay, so I meant Frontline. Cut me some slack. It's my first video.
For cats and dogs. They're actually paying almost 30%, 29.5%, so definitely worth having them in your portfolio. I haven't written one on here, which has already paid me out about £600 in dividends, which is PetroChina. Now, I do hold about £1,500 worth of stock in Petro, but they do pay out frequent dividends. Obviously, it is a Chinese stock, so carries a little bit more risk, especially with what's going on with the trade wars between China and America at the moment. But again, a really great one to have in your portfolio. So next we move on to high growth stocks. Now, all of these have absolutely outperformed the market. Absolutely brilliant companies, in my opinion, for different reasons. So obviously we all know Tesla, maximum growth is 2,211%. For me, at the moment, it's around about the 460 mark, $460 a share.
Okay, so it was trading at around 460 about a week ago. It is now 440.
5 years. Now, I think with Elon Musk, anything can happen, really. He's such a visionary, such a great guy. But again, could it go to that? I don't know.
It's a joke.
But again, I do feel like it's worth having a share or two of Tesla in your portfolio. And it is an expensive one, but again, if it's set to grow by that amount, there's no reason why you shouldn't have it in your portfolio. Next one, we've got Trade Desk. They've grown 2,083%. Obviously, for me, CEO Jeff Green, absolutely brilliant CEO. It's a very niche market. There aren't many that offer this type of service. So what they do is they purchase data-driven digital advertising campaigns and then sell that data on. So it's a data-driven marketplace. So again, a very sort of niche commodity, very niche area to be in. Then we have NIO. So NIO, which I've already touched on, for me has been an absolutely phenomenal stock to have in my portfolio. I put in quite a lot of money into NIO. So I've obviously seen that grow from just a couple of dollars to around the 30 mark just as of last week. William Li is the CEO. A lot of what he does is modelled on Tesla, and he sees Elon Musk as his sort of role model. NIO is a way of life for many in China. It's got a phenomenal marketplace out there already, where they've seen growth sort of just exponentially go crazy recently, especially with their deliveries for cars like the ES6. where they had 4,000 deliveries almost last month. Next, we've got Square. So obviously Jack Dorsey's the CEO. They're a payment and merchant services provider, and Square again is looking like a really big potential there to keep growing. At the moment, it's around 1,400%. And next, we move on to Teladoc. So I'm just going to pause for a second. Sorry about that, guys. Nature calls for me, unfortunately. But let's go back. So Teladoc again is another company that is really exclusive in what they do. They provide access to medical care virtually 24/7. So really obviously contemporary, relevant, and technologically advanced, especially for this time and what's going on with COVID. That for me, again, it's at 701% growth overall at the moment, but I can see potential for that to grow even more, potentially double within the next 6 months, and keep going from there. Obviously, Zoom has just gone absolutely crazy. Obviously, fantastic technology and very simple to use. They've overtaken the likes of obviously Skype and Microsoft Teams. Eric Yuan is the CEO of Zoom. He still thinks that Zoom is priced quite cheaply compared to what he feels like it could go to. He reckons his company will be $1,000 a share within the next few months. So currently that's at 765% growth. Apologies for that. That is my dog going mad. Then we have Shopify. So that's also grown like crazy over I'm going to have to go and pause again, I'm afraid. Sorry about that, guys. My partner has just walked in, so she's a nurse.
Yes, that's my partner, an annoying barking dog.
Come back, hence why the dog was going mad. But going back to Shopify then, Tobias Lütke, I think I pronounced that right, who's the CEO, again has lots of visions for Shopify. There are talks that they will be teaming up with Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg and trying to grow their marketplace to potentially the size of Amazon, because obviously we know that e-commerce is growing a lot at the moment. So lots of potential there. It's 621% growth at the moment, and sort of trading at around the $1,000 mark per share. But again, I do see that going sort of potentially to 2 within the next 12 months. And then finally, on our high growth stocks that I've highlighted is Immunomedics. So they are an antibody drug conjugate therapy company, so otherwise known as ADC Technologies. Some really promising sort of drugs are coming through there, especially for cancer therapies. That is at 485% growth at the moment, and I do feel like that one is going to keep growing just because of what they offer. They are also doing trials with a vaccine for COVID patients as well, so again, lots of potential opportunity there. Moving on then, finally, high potential stocks. So these are just a few that I've picked out.
Not sure what on earth I'm doing with my hands there.
They aren't sort of at this sort of level, but they are, for me, going to go there. Virgin Galactic at the moment is at 128% growth overall. They're trading at around about $22 a share. I do see that going to $30 before we see the end of 2020. I do feel like that has got a lot of room to grow and keep going. Alibaba, obviously, their market capitalization is around 6.7 trillion. At the moment, they're at 220% growth. I can see that one, growing to sort of around about the $1,000 mark within the next 18 months to 2 years. At the moment, they're only at around $300. So again, for me, that's still quite low in my opinion. I will touch on cannabis stocks because I do feel like, again, with what we're seeing at the moment with the whole Trump and Biden election, it's already been announced that if Biden does get in power, he will look to capitalise on potential opportunities to help, regrow the economy. Using that word grow there, but yes, I do feel like Canopy Growth for me is my favourite one, not just because Seth Rogen has invested in it, and lots of obviously famous people have, but because it does offer probably one of the most stable cannabis companies that there are at the moment. Obviously, their all-time high was around $60 a share. At the moment, they're trading at around about 18, but I do see them going back up to those highs within the next couple of years. Xpeng. Again, a bit of a competitor to sort of, the EV market, electric vehicles, and NIO and Tesla. I do feel like they've got a lot of exciting vehicles coming up that they're ready to launch, so a lot more growth to be expected. BYD is another electric vehicle maker in China. They have grown a lot since their sort of conception, 620%, but there's opportunity for growth there. Fiverr, again, another e-commerce platform for outsourcing and freelancing. They're at 725%, but I do feel like they will continue to grow as well. Tencent and Baidu, again, these are Chinese stocks, and I do feel like the Chinese market is just going to keep growing. I do feel like that one, the Chinese stock market overall is definitely one to watch and see obviously what happens with the election, because it will be a very interesting time. And finally then, I'm going to make a few recommendations for you guys. I'm not going to go into lots of detail because I know this video has already gone over what I wanted it to go over, but just a few here. So Kayaksin Auto Holdings. Last week I invested in Kayaksin at $0.5 a share. It went up to $4 and I was up about sort of £400 just off about £20. I have put more money in since because it dropped down to 2. I do feel like this one is going to go sort of on a bit of a roller coaster ride, but I think if you can get in at around the $1 to $2 mark and leave your money in, I do see this one going to $10 within 6 months. Next we've got, I'm going to try and pronounce it, Electromanica Vehicles Corporation. Otherwise, Solo is the sticker for that one. They are again an EV car maker, as it says on the tin. They're trading at around the $3 mark at the moment, but I do see they're obviously a potential stock that has seen quite a bit of growth recently as well. I do think they're going to keep growing. We've got Hertz. We saw that last week come out of the ashes and rise and hit around $2. So lots of potential growth there as well. And Investor Observer does rate Hertz really highly. Next we've got Gen, which stands for Genesis Healthcare. They're a penny stock, and for me, lots of really exciting, technologically advanced drugs, and they are, again, one of those to watch, I think. Then we have Fortress Biotech. Don't know too much about them, but I have sort of seen lots of people on the Timothy Sykes forum saying that they are going to go places, so just one to watch. Their tagline is FBio. And Just Energy, they have seen a massive fall in their share price recently. They still are a penny stock, but they consolidated their shares, which essentially turned them into what seems like an expensive stock, but I do still feel like there's lots of opportunity there. So there's just a few to give you a bit of flavour. I think some of these would be good to have in your portfolio. Again, I'm not a financial expert here, so this is just me imparting some of my knowledge. Yeah, if you have any questions, please just leave them on the comment section, or direct message me, follow me as well if you'd like to on Instagram. I am currently yet to set up a Rogue Traders Instagram on there, but I will be doing so. Or you can just hit me up on my own Instagram account, which is chris.collinge. Any questions, guys, feel free to get in touch. If you are interested in joining the group as well, then that's something that we can put into place in the next video. And let me know what your thoughts are. Obviously, I hope I haven't bored you to death, but I thought I'd just share some of my ideas, some of my goals, my understanding. And yeah, look forward to speaking with you guys next time. Take care.